Okay, we're on Eruvin, Perek Gimel, Mishnah. We're in the middle of discussing the idea of Eruv Tchumen. I want to make a point. I'm using a map. I live in Yad Yamin. You're welcome to visit. And I'm using a map, my map as an example. So it says that we know that if Shabbat came, I live in Yad Yamin. I wanted to make a to Gedera. So what I could do is I could put an Eruv Tchumen at the edge of my 2,000 amot away from Yad Yamin. What that would do is that would shift my, well, that would not shift my whole place. That would shift my center from Yad Binyamin, and that would make my center to the 2,000 amot away. And therefore, I could walk from Yad Binyamin to my Eruv, and then from my Eruv to Gedera. But what happens if I don't know whether I want to go to Gedera, or I might want to be able to go instead to Yesodot? Yesodot is 2,000 amot in the other direction. Is there some way in which I can have the option of going either from Yad Binyamin to Gedera, or from Yad Binyamin to Yesodot? The Mishnah will tell us that actually there is. Says the Mishnah, Matne Adam al Eruvo. I can make a condition on my Eruv Omer, and I can say, Im ba'u goyim min hamizrach, Eruvi l'ma'arav. If non-Jews come from the east, then my Eruv is to the west. Min ma'arav, Eruvi l'mizrach. Then if from the ma'arav, if the enemies, if the goyim are going to come, if the non-Jews are going to come, the dangerous non-Jews are going to come from the west, then I'm going to make my Eruv to the east. What the Mishnah is saying really is I can make an Eruv. I'm conditioning on one Eruv. What I do is I'm making, let's make this a little bit bigger so you can see it better. I can make two Eruv. And therefore, I have an Eruv both to the east and to the west. So in this case, if the non-Jews come from the east, we all run to Gedera. If the non-Jews run to the west, I can go to Yesodot. Okay? Im ba'u mikan umikan. What if they come from either direction? The makom she'ertzeh elech. I can go whichever direction I want. Lo ba'u lo mikan, lo mikan. If they didn't come either from either direction or that direction, hareini ki b'nei iri. Then I'm going to be like b'nei iri, like the people of my own city. So I can say, I can set up two Eruv and then say, if I want to go to Yesodot, then this Eruv is going to be effective. If I want to go to Gedera, then this Eruv will be effective. If I want to stay in Yad Binyamin, then neither Eruv will be effective. I could basically have three possible loci or focuses, centers of Shvita on Shabbat, and then decide on Shabbat afterwards which one I want to actually be effective, which Eruv is going to be effective. And the point though here is, even though I don't know on Erev Shabbat, Ben Hashmashot, I don't know on Friday evening which Eruv I'm going to actually want to invoke. The one I invoke on Shabbat morning is the one that eventually takes effect. Okay? Similarly, Chachamim HaMizrach, Eruvi LeMizrach, Min HaMa'arav, Eruvi LeMa'arav. Ba lekan ulekan, lemakom she'ertzeh elech, lo lekan velo lekan, hareini ki b'nei ben iri. Same thing. It doesn't have to be the threat of non-Jews. If the Chacham comes from Mizrach, if, let's say, a great Rav, I found out in the morning, people come from Yesodot to Yad Binyamin, they say, oh, the Rav came to Yesodot. I say, great, I set up an Eruv 2,000 amot, and therefore, what that means is that my focus, my center is here, and what do you know? I'm able to make it to the edge of Yesodot. Here we go. I measured it out. I can go to my Eruv, and then I can go to Yesodot. I can meet Yesodot. And that only happened on Shabbat morning. Similarly, the Rav came to the west. Then I take my Rav. If the rabbis came to both, the makom she'ertzeh elech, I can go to either one I want. Lo lekan velo lekan, neither one. Hareini ki b'nei iri, and I'm going to be like the people of my city. Rabbi Yehuda says, Im haya echad mehem rabo. If one of them was his Rav, he goes to his Rav. And if they're both his Rav, the makom she'yertzeh elech, he can go to any one he wants. So everyone agrees that this works. It's not a trick. I can make two Eruvim on Erev Shabbat, and then on Shabbat itself, I can decide which one I want to actually have an effect. How does this work? Because doesn't it have to take effect on Erev Shabbat? So one line in the Bartanura explains exactly what the halachic mechanism is. The Bartanura says, Af al gav delo atu ad lemachar. Even though the Rabbanim didn't only came on Shabbat itself, so there was no way to know which Eruv I want to actually have an effect. Amrina yesh breira. We say there is breira. This word breira is an important word. We've seen it in many examples in previous Mishnah that we saw in the Trumot Masra. What does breira mean? Breira means that retroactively I now know what the halachic decision I made originally. And now when Shabbat morning comes, so even though a Friday night I don't know, on Friday evening I don't know which Eruv I want, When Shabbat morning comes and the Rav comes to Beit Chilkiah, or the Rav comes to Gedera, so I didn't use Beit Chilkiah, the Rav comes to Gedera, then I know that I want the Western Eruv. That Brera tells me that means that last night what I wanted was the Western Eruv. The Bein HaShmashot, Brera tells us, the Bein HaShmashot, Kana the Eruva, the Ida Kisa. And the Bein HaShmashot, that Bein HaShmashot back last night, the Eruv that I wanted was the Eruv to Yesadot. That's how Brera works. Brera works retroactively. And that's how you can have the Eruv take effect. Even though you don't know on Friday night which one is the one you're going to want. We'll stop here. If you have comments or questions, I can't really explain to you how Brera works. That's basically it. But nonetheless, I always like to hear from people, rspolter at remember, the maps are not to scale. So I'm just theoretically saying, I don't know if you saw it as 4,000 amot away or not. And there happens to be an Eruv from Yad Binyamin to Beit Chilkiah and Chavetz Chaim. Nonetheless, if you have email me at rspolter@gmail.com, and we'll dedicate our 30 to my father's memory, Rav Simcha ben Yitzchak Kalman. Have a great day.